Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharyavantimam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, just to quickly sum up what we have done. Bhrigu, we found the case of this young Rishi who was given a definition of Brahman. Now, a little bit giving you the sides of that. Such a definition is called Tatastha Lakshanam. When I was going through the main thing, I didn't want to confuse with all this, It is called, one second. Yeah, it is called Tatastha Lakshanam. Tatastha Lakshanam meaning to define something with respect to something else. Like we are walking down my road with a friend. He says, Swaminji, which is a building? Say, you see that red Maruti parked there? That is my building. So I have pointed out. Because Lakshanam is to point out. Okay? Vyavartakam Lakshanam. Nitrebhyaha sarvebhyaha vyavartakam Lakshanam. To point out something distinct from everything else. That's what a function of a definition is. So the English definition and the Sanskrit Lakshana comes close but is not identical. So here it is to point out. So I pointed out my building. So after 3 days he is coming. Is he going to look for that red Maruti car? That is not part of the building. But I use that to point out the building. It is Tatastha Lakshana. Then if you need Swarupa Lakshanam, what is it? Swarupa Lakshanam will be describing, hey, it's plot 540, it is called Shakti, it's a tall white building with black grills on the windows, etc. So it looks like a jail. So that would be the Swarupa Lakshanam because I am describing the building with respect to itself. So now here, if you saw in the second Valli, Brahman is defined by itself, Swarupa Lakshanam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That is called Swarupa Lakshanam. Here Brahman is defined as the source of the creation. So you are talking about Brahman from the standpoint of the creation. So this is called Tatastha Lakshanam. Okay. And the greatness of Bhrigu was that with that Tatastha Lakshanam, he could work on it and come to the understanding that Ananda Brahmeti. Here there is no Panchakosha Viveka in Bhrigu. There is some sort of a graded understanding, but it is not Panchakosha Viveka. There was Panchakosha Viveka in Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. In that Valli, there was Panchakosha Viveka. And be very careful there because I have seen scholars talking about it differently. Okay? Like, if you notice there, I pointed out there also and I want to point it out here when you are at the end of the Upanishad. He talks about Annamaya. Sava Esha Purushaha Anna Rasamayaha. The person is nothing but a modification. Mayaha meaning modification there of Annam, food. Food that your parents ate, food that you ate. Anna Rasamayaha. Okay. Then he says Anyontaratmaha Pranamayaha. This is another Atma Pranamaya. Tenesha Purnaha. That fills up the Annamaya. then the fact body is finite, he didn't have to point out because it's experienced by everyone. It's a finite entity. But he does that to point out the prana is a finite entity. He does a pakshi kalpana. Imagines it like a bird. Right wing, left wing, this, that. Right wing, left wing, not as in politics, okay? Literally right wing, left wing. Okay. वो भी ऐसा clarify करना पड़ता है because nowadays yeah. Then he says manomaya kosha. Again pakshi, the bird. Then vijnanamaya kosha. Then anandamaya kosha. Anyantaratma, anyantaratma, anyantara. And if you notice there, he does not say Anyontaramayaha Anandarupaha. He does not say that. He only says, and nor is the Upanishad silent about it. This is what I heard scholars speaking about. The Upanishad is very eloquently silent. To understand this, you have to refer to Kato Upanishad. Avritta chakshuhu kaschid dhiraha avritta chakshuhu atmanam aikshata. You have to go into their contemplation and discover Anandatma. No. Upanishad is very eloquent there by saying Brahma puchcham pratishtaha. Brahman is the basis for all these koshas. Brahma puchcham pratishtaha. Very clearly stated. Can't be more clearly stated. If he had said another Atma, Ananda Sarupaha, you would have taken that Atma as a finite entity. Why? Because all the preceding 5 are finite. So the 6th one also is finite. So no, to avoid that, he says Brahma Puchcham Pratishta for the whole kosha business. Brahman is the basis. Anandamaya kosha, Brahman is the basis. And Tenesha Purna, all the things are filled up by it. Therefore, Brahman fills up the entire thing. He is the basis for the entire thing. It is very eloquent there, not silent. Brahma Puchcham Pratishtaha. So there is some sort of Panchakosha Viveka happening there. Why? Because he started with the totality. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. Then he came some idea of the creation. Annam, from Annam this Purusha body. From this body, prana, everything. And coming back into Brahman that I am. So starts with Brahman, ends with Brahman. So all that is there is only one Brahman. Everything else is a manifestation in between. Because Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman is totality. Anantam Rumba. Yeah. Then the whole manifestation is talked about. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. Then from there, Purusha, person, the body. Prana, mind, this, that, etc. Back into Brahman. Therefore, what is there? Only Brahman is there. What do you see and experience? Manifestation. Therefore, aham annam, aham annadaha. The creation, the manifestation is annam. And who am I? The one who eats the whole thing. The experiencer. I am the eater and the eaten. I am both the eater and the eaten. That we saw later. Yeah. Meaning the experiencer and the experienced. Both are nothing but I alone. So all that is there is one Brahman. बस इतना ही बात है. If you have understood that, fine. Let's close our books and go for a walk. और क्या बात है? Everything is clear. What else is left? Yeah. So if it is not, or rather if you cannot own it up, or if it is not that clear, is because some fine tuning is necessary. So he gives a general fine tuning. Why? Because fine tuning of your mind is highly individual. Now, what sadhana I'll give to someone. There are some common sadhanas. I'll say, okay, anyone can do japa, some Vishnu Sahasranama, something like that, some japa dhyanam you can do. That's common. But otherwise, fine tuning is highly individualized. That's why everyone has a one-on-one with the teacher sometime or the other. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, this is what I can do. Now, sometimes some one-on-one is on a Zoom call or something like that. That's also okay. If it is one-on-one, as long as one-on-one happens. It's better if it is physically live, sitting across. That's the ideal condition. But we are not always living in an ideal world. So, it's understandable. So, it is highly individualized. Yeah. Someone comes and tells me, Swamiji, I am interested in Vedanta. Should I get married? Yes, please do. Nice guy, productive guy, will make somebody happy. Yeah. But Swamiji, what in a marriage? I am not happy. Then you can become a philosopher, not a problem. I mean, what is the issue about it? Okay. So, somebody else may think a useless character, what will he do getting married? Please don't. You don't want to make somebody else miserable. He is miserable by himself is good enough. So, it depends, it varies, Yeah. Like generally I'll ask some people, okay, do some mala, at least one mala every day, if not, no more. No, one mala of japa. So, do that. There's one character whom I had to stop making him do japa. Some of you know that story. This guy comes to my class and it's a basic class in Vedanta, beginner's class. I can make out from his face he's not understanding half the things I'm saying. Even my jokes he's not getting. At least that he should be able to get. Yeah. So at the end of the class he came and talked to me. I said, what happened? He says, no, I can't understand anything. I said, what are you studying it for? He says, I'm doing my graduation in some arts or something. I said, but I flunked twice. I said, you flunked in that subject? I mean, it is difficult to score in that subject, I can understand that. It's not like physics or something which you can score, but you can bluff and get a pass mark. But there are some liberal subjects where you can present your views, your opinions and all and scrape through, even if not score high. I mean, that's the nature of the subject, I mean, not to do. Yeah. Because in liberal arts, your opinion is important. In physics, etc., your opinion is not important. What is fact is important. So, the nature of the two subjects are different. Like mathematics. You can't say 5 plus 4 is 11 according to my opinion and justify it by giving a logic. But a political view or a political idea, you can give an opinion. Why? Because there is no finality in it. You can accept all shades of opinion. Won't work in physics, won't work in mathematics. So, anyway, so this guy came. I said, what do you do throughout the day? Because now I know there is an issue, but I don't know what the problem is. He said, then I thought maybe youngster, college student, is fooling around a lot. I said, what do you do? Go for movies, hang out with friends. What do you do? No, Swamiji, I am not on that. I am a serious spiritual student. I do sadhana every day. Acha, what do you mean by sadhana? Because sadhana is a catch-all term. It can apply to anything. From standing on your head to meditating. It can be anything. What is it? He says, I do 100 malas of japa a day. I said, wow. Problem is very, very clear. His mind is not capable of doing that 100 malas. When your mind is not capable of doing 100 malas and you do 100 malas, your mind will get dulled, inactive. It won't become sattvic. It will become tamasic. The sadhana, your mind should be able to absorb and do it. He is not capable of it. 100 malas is huge. Even sadhus, etc., do it only for certain periods of time. When you're doing a Purascharan or something like that. When you say, okay, I will chant Om Namah Shivaya 5 lakh times. Then okay, 100 malas a day. But that's only for a short period. If you do it for a long period, there's a chance that you can also become dull. So I said, solution is simple, but I don't know whether you can do it. He said, Swamiji, I'll do anything. I said, sure? Yes. I said, I want you to cut down 100 malas to 3 malas a day. Actually, I would have preferred to say 0 or 1, but I know he wouldn't do it. Cut down that much because his mind is so conditioned to that. 3 malas only? I said, yes. And that was the morning, afternoon, night. That's it. Split it up. Okay. Then I want you to see 1 hour of television every day. I never see television. I said, no. I want you to watch TV for 1 hour every day. See, our mind, if we keep sitting 1 hour in front of a TV, we will get dull. That mind is so dull, that mind will get alive. Oh, what is happening there? For that mind, TV is enlivening. For our mind, the TV is dulling. So, are you seeing what sadhana is about? I said, at least go to the theatre with a friend and see 1 movie every month. Once a month, minimum. Swamiji, no sadhu ever talks about this sadhana. I said, yeah, I told you, try it for 3 months and then come and tell me how you fared in your exam. After 6 months, he comes back and says, Swamiji, I passed my exams. I said, good. Now your mind is normal. So be careful when you pick up sadhana, okay? Always pick up under the guidance of someone. Yeah. Otherwise you think, oh, my teacher said do 3 malas. So if I do 30 malas, how will it be? You will be like that guy. So be careful. Adhikasya adhikam phalam is not always true. Do more, you get more result. It's not always true. Yeah, Karthik, you have a question.
So Swamiji, in Briguvalli, Brahman is, of course, he goes back and contemplates on Brahman. What is it that brings Atma into the picture?
Because, very good question. You are searching for the Atma and you have heard Atma is Brahman. This is the premise there. Heard Atma is Brahman. ब्रह्म के नाम हमने सुना है, ब्रह्म में हूँ ना था पता. Old Hindi film song like that, na? Bobby se hai movie. The song. Okay. प्यार के नाम मैंने सुना था. Okay, that one. So Brahma came. I have heard I am Brahman, but I don't know that. So what is Brahman? I want to know. Or you have heard ashram life, Abhisheka in the temple. Brahma vedapnoti param satyam jnanam anantam brahman. Abhisheka is being done. But I said, okay. So Brahman kya hai? What is this Brahman? Okay. So somewhere that what you call apata jnanam is there, a general knowledge is there. Because how are you going to look for something you don't know? Brahman is unknown to you. Then how can it be an object of a desire to know? Every object of desire has to be known to you. Every known thing cannot be an object of desire. Sometimes you know something, someone well, and you say, no way, no, I don't want to be anywhere closer. But every object of desire has to be an object of knowledge. The heart can want only what the eye has seen. Great words of wisdom. You know where it is from? Yes, sir.
Yoga.
No, Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, Silence of the Lambs. Okay.
I mean, yeah, wisdom is there everywhere. You can look for it. Yeah, come on. Because it is true. Yeah, if you're desiring something, you have known it before. So if somebody is being kidnapped, the person is known. Otherwise, it can't happen. Because it is not a game of opportunity. It's a planned thing. It has to be known. Yeah. So here it is. So how can it become, Brahman become an object of your desire to know? Or any desire if you don't know it? That is why all this apata jnanam is there. General knowledge is there. You have heard it somewhere. Some talk you heard it. You're shifting around YouTube, you came across some video. Or you read some subculture book. Our time it was Siddhartha, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, Zen and the Art of Archery. So I don't know what the new subculture books are. Okay. So something you came across and you come. So he has already come across that much. Therefore the Atma comes in through that. Yeah. That type of a general knowledge brings you to it. Okay. So this is a big picture. Then as I was saying, that sadhana, if your mind is not ready, then some fine tuning sadhana etc. is necessary. That's what the Upanishad is going into now. Because remember, it started with certain upasanas etc. in the beginning. Sikshavali, lot of upasanas were given there, huge amount, including the vulnerable child upasana, all that thing was there in it. Presented differently, not the term vulnerable child was not used. Yeah, but it comes to the same thing. Yeah, to confront the most vulnerable core of yourself. That is there in all disciplines. It is not just in psychology, it is there. Psychology, they given a name, vulnerable child. Yeah. The core of your being, in other words. Without knowledge of what it is, the core. The core of you is always vulnerable. Until you understand the truth. Then the core becomes Brahman. Becomes Brahman, you recognize it as Brahman. Otherwise, the most vulnerable part of you. And that rarely comes up unless you feel safe. Or the other extreme, you are ready to die. It can come up in both places. Either you have to feel totally safe with someone, then the playful child, vulnerable child will come up. Total safety you have to feel. Not easy. In today's life, we are always wary, we always have a defense against the world. The world is out to get me, so I have to be on my guard. Yeah. The vulnerable child, read some psychology, those who are asking question, what is the vulnerable part? Yeah. The core of what you are. As a human being, you're a vulnerable human being because you have a sense of finitude. You hide it under a lot of defenses.
Swamiji,
Yeah?
even between parent and small children,
It doesn't always come up. As a baby, it is there, but not afterwards.
Yeah.
Not afterwards.
Thank you, Swami.
By the time you are 5, 6, etc., the ego has developed so well, and the defensive mechanisms have developed so well, you cover yourself very well. It can happen in a romantic relationship. That's why I always tell people, fall in love at least once in your lifetime. It is good. Because you have to feel safe in that love. It can happen in a strong bonding relationship where you may be with some wiser, older figure whom you feel totally accepted and fine. You know, like a Guru-Sishya relationship. That can happen. Yeah, Guru-Sishya means a serious Guru-Sishya relationship, okay? Not a casual one. Yeah. So, there these things can come up. Or it can come up in moments of, like, you're totally helpless, you're ready to die. You can't do anything to defend yourself anymore. You're waiting for death to come. Yeah. So I experienced both these. Waiting for death to come is like in martial arts. There is a level that you reach there. Nowadays, I don't think it is done, because nowadays the whole thing has become sports. It has not become a warrior thing or a spiritual thing. So when you are having the warrior into spiritual this thing, you are put into a situation where there is no way you can defend yourself. You have fought against one, go on until you are, eventually you will get tired out, because you are a black belt, you are fighting another black belt. When he gets tired, say you are good, he goes out, another person comes in. Now you are already tired fighting the previous guy. Now the second person comes in, then he is withdrawn, third person comes in. What will be your lot by that time? Yeah. A time will come when you will drop to the ground, because this can go over an hour. You are fighting over an hour continuously with people who are equally good as you, same level. Then what? You are too tired to do anything. You just sing. You collapse on the ground. Then the sensei will come and give you a kick. Come on, get up, fight. You are ready to die. Yes. You are in total touch with your vulnerable side. You are ready to die, and you are okay with that. Can't do anything anymore. Then also the vulnerable child you will be in touch with. But that's a difficult way of doing it. It can come up in therapy. If you are a good, if you trust your therapist and the therapist is really good. By good means not only in skill, also as a person. I have seen a lot of skilled therapists, but not necessarily good human beings. No. That's why to protect the client, the therapist keeps himself or herself out of the picture. You don't know anything about that person.
Swamiji?
Yeah?
Swamiji, which subject should you learn to become a therapist like that?
One second. Let's not digress into how you should become a therapist. That ask me later. We are focusing on the topic now. You are digressing.
Okay.
Too much, yeah. So the whole question of this, the vulnerable child. So that is the being that's really spiritual. If you are in touch with that, okay. If you are in touch with the child within, this is important. Whether you are 8 or 80, it doesn't matter. Are you in touch with the child? You will learn the fastest when you are in touch with the child, because it's the child that learns the fastest. How much of gigabytes of information you learned when you were a kid, 2 years, 3 years and all, how much did you learn? And now why do we struggle to learn so much? Get in touch with the child, you will learn. So that's why all those meditations in the beginning was there. Here the meditations are something else, some different types are being presented in the later section. Okay. The fact that the experiencer and the experience is one and the same, that angle is being presented more in the later half. Because eventually what do you want to do? Open up your heart enough to serve, so that I am everything. It is not an emotional feeling. It's a recognition, and then the feeling that comes after that recognition is one of harmony with the universe. You are not going to feel I am everything. I can't move. If I move, the star will shake. You are not going to feel that. Don't expect such feelings, okay? Yeah. I have to feel I am everything. So people try, sit in meditation. I am feeling I am everything. You are feeling nothing. You are making some make-believe illusions. Yeah, let me call a spade a spade. Make-believe illusions. It's a recognition that you are Brahman, you are that consciousness, and that consciousness is the basis for everything. That's what you need to know. Then the response will always be at peace and harmony with everything. You are okay with everything being not okay. Because there is no judgment, it is not okay. Okay, you recognize some things work, some things don't work, it's okay. In the order of things, it's all fine. Because in the moment you say this is fine or this is not fine, you are coming into the functional aspect of it. Then Ishvara's order comes into the picture. Cognition is here that pure consciousness. Basis for everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. This is what in Upanishads is like Isha Visa, na vijigupsate. It does not turn away from anything saying, this is bad, this is this. A different manifestation, that's it. And you will handle, and when you are functional in life, you will handle the manifestation according to what the manifestation is. You're going to work, you're not going to pat your wife and kiss the dog goodbye. Some people do. They love their dogs more than kya kare. I can understand, because they get unconditional love only from their dog anyway. At least they think it is unconditional. So you will deal with the manifestation as the manifestation is. Like I knew this lady, she had a very strange pet, a python. Okay, big one, some 15 feet long. And she was staying alone. So she had the habit that it was cold winter time. So she'll get the python into bed with her. They share a bed. You share a bed with a dog, you share a bed with a cat, you share with your dolls, that. You share a bed with a python. What is the big deal? So after some time, the python stopped eating, but would be very affectionate with her, coil around her and all that. So she took the python to a vet. I think he's so affectionate and all, but he's not eating. What is happening? The vet got scared. He said, please put the python back in the cage and feed it. Leave some food with it. Don't take it to your bed. Why? It's not affection. He is measuring you to see whether he can crush you and swallow you. Don't mistake it as affection. So a pet is supposed to be where a pet is, okay? A pet is supposed to be where a pet is. I'm sure Rana Pratap and his famous horse Chetak, they did not share a bed, okay? The horse gave up his life for Rana Pratap. But that loyal, but yeah. That perspective of how you deal with the world has to be there. Don't get confused with that. Yeah. Otherwise, it will be like the affection of the python. Measuring you out, seeing whether he can squeeze you, crush you and swallow you. That's why he's fasting. For the last 3 days not eaten. Why? Because he has to be hungry enough to eat you up. No? So you deal with the functioning world, at the same time recognize that you are the reality behind the whole thing. So for that, fine tuning your mind, different sadhanas. Here he has given this thing, okay. So we saw the 7th one last time, right? Panjavacation? You had chanted the 7th? Annam na nindyat? Huh?
Frankly, we are chanting every day now. So I'm not able to recollect whether we chanted the same.
That 7th one we had chanted, I know. Yeah. Even the 8th we had chanted actually. So Annam, and 8th also you had chanted. So 8th what we have to do.
Yeah.
Annam na parichakshit. Huh?
The 8th also we chanted.
Yeah. Annam na parichakshit. To not waste food. Tadvratam. This is a vow that you take. That you will not waste food. Our modern civilization is a wasteful one. I said this also last time, I think. The amount of food that is wasted in states can feed all the poor in the world. I don't like it, I throw it away. You don't like it, no? Okay. Give it to some poor person who's starving. The guy will love it. The guy will love it. Yeah. We serve ourselves more than what we need and then we waste it. No, take what you need, don't waste it. If you eat what you don't need, of course it's a waste. That's also a waste. Yeah. You take more food than you eat, then you say, no, I can't waste food, so I eat it up. That's double waste. That food is wasted, plus it goes to your waste. And you have to work on it further. First you put the calories inside and then you have to work out those calories. What for? Double waste. Eat. Yeah. So eat what you want to eat, that's fine. People have different needs. Yeah. Okay. So, na parichada pratam. Then he says, apova annam. Water can also be called food. Why? The earth came from water. Remember the theory of creation. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. Food comes from earth comes from water in the theory of creation. So it's a manifestation. So apova annam. And anyway you are drinking it up. You are putting it into you. Okay. Jyotir annadam. If you take this as water as food, then who is the eater of food? The one that came before, fire. Fire is annadam. Apsu jyoti pratishtitam. Therefore, since water has come from fire, there should be fire in the water. Because manifestation. Apsu jyoti pratishtitam. Jyotish apaha pratitishthita. And in the jyoti, water also has to be there. Now this is used a lot in energy work that is done through yoga, through Vadramushti, and even modern martial arts like Tai Chi practice, Qigong and everything. Okay? That. They will say, kidney is supposed to be water element, no? It's supposed to take out all the waste from the water, etc. Heart is a fire element. So the fire in the kidney should meet the water in the heart. Not water in the kidney meeting the fire. So this is where the energy work comes in, where you extract different energies and mix it all together. That's a huge big topic by itself. Don't ask me to teach it. That has to be done one-on-one. I have to be with everyone, monitor every person who's practicing that. Okay, if something goes wrong, I'll say, okay, you practice for a week and come. Yeah, you practice for a week, but if anything, if you notice any changes in your system, please speak to me immediately. Yeah, otherwise, you may be in for a big problem. Don't blame me afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes these practices can make things a little bit haywire in your life, because your karma and the practice may not match. Your prarabdha karma and the practice may not match. Like last week I was supposed to meet someone and my samana vayu was going haywire. So I had to let it all settle down now. I was experimenting with some things. Yeah. So what do I tell the person? I got a stomach upset. I mean, what else to say? Actually, it is all this vayu is going haywire. Okay. So this is way how you look at it. That's a different practice itself. I am just giving you a heads up on it. Okay. It is not necessary to do all those practices. Okay. I experiment with a lot of things. That's a different thing. As a spiritual teacher, I should be aware of what's happening in society. What is all is there in the spiritual field. So I experiment. Okay. Tad etam anne pratishtitam. Therefore, what's really happening? The food is in the food because everything is experiential, no? So everything is established in each other. Sayeta annam anne pratishtitam veda pratishtati. Therefore, who knows? Annam anne pratishthitam means what? Everything is nothing but a manifestation. So this can be a meditation also. Okay, pratishthitam. Okay, then what happens? Annavan annado bhavati. Because you started with meditating on food, lot of food will come to you, and you will be able to handle all that food as well without creating problems. Samji, a lot of food comes to me also, and I eat all of that, but I am putting on weight, I am having cholesterol problems, etc. Then you can't handle it. Then you are not handling it, okay? Handling it is when you don't have all these issues. Yeah. When you can handle, without all these issues, if you can handle it, then. Yeah. If you can't, don't. Yeah. Annavan annado bhavati. Mahan bhavati. Becomes a great person. Prajaya pashubir brahma varchasena. With people around. Okay. Prajaya pashubihi. Wealth, etc. Cattle, etc. Cattle was wealth those days. Brahma varchasena. Brahma tejasena. Mahan kirtya. Well known. Iti Ashtamavana. This is all Arthavada. If you do this meditation, I am not going to teach this meditation, okay? Do your simple japa dhyanam that I have taught you all. वो करता है बहुत हो गया. Okay. Because the Upanishad is saying it, I am explaining it. Because we are studying the Upanishad. But all these practices you can't do. Because to do all this, there are a lot of sides to it which you cannot do. You may have seen some priests doing it. They will never eat food outside. They will cook their own food. All those disciplines has to come in. Possible in today's world? Don't say my wife will cook for me, okay? The guys here in India. Because Indian men are great. They'll blame it on their wives. No. So, these type of practices cannot be done in today's world. You are traveling. Can you say, I will only eat the food I have cooked? Yes, Swamiji, I will cook food and I will take it, it will last me 3 days. You are not supposed to eat 3 days old food. Yata, yamam, you can't eat. All those, literally those disciplines have to come into you. That means half your time is going in breakfast, lunch and dinner. Because you have to cook fresh every time. करने का उपासना अभी अन्नम ब्रह्मेति उपासना you all want to do. अभी one time cooking in the day becomes difficult. You are talking of cooking 3 times. Yeah. And then that food has to be made in such a way it should be fit for offering. That's another thing that comes into that. So, all these practices you can't do in today's world. Yeah. So, leave that practice there, but the Upanishad mentions all this, okay? Then, another one, annam bahu kurvita. Make lot of annam. Annam doesn't include only food, okay? It includes all prosperity. Tad vratam, that is my vow. Prithivi va annam. The earth is nothing but annam. So, own property. Akasha annadaha. If earth is annam, Akasha is the one who is experiencing this, who has created this earth. From Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. Therefore, Akasha, Vayu, annadaha, the one who sources Akasha. Tadadetad annam manne pratisesha. Okay, sorry. Prithvyam Akasha pratishtita. In the Prithvi, Akasha is present. Right or wrong? Akasha is in and through the Prithvi, na? Space is in and through the earth. And Akashe Prithvi Pratishtitam. In the Akasha, the Prithvi is established. Earth is in space anyway. So, tad etad annam anne pratishtitam. So, what is it? Annam anne pratishtitam. Because both are annam. Why both are annam? Both are objects of your experience. You are the final annadaha. You are the final experiencer, na? So, both of them become annam. Both are, one is established in the other is established in this. Which is established in which? Yeah, okay. Tase eta Etad annam anne pratishtatam Veda pratitishthati. So if you understand this very clearly, understand this meaning, Veda here is in sense of upasana. When you do that, annavan annado bhavati, annavan bhavati, annadaha bhavati, mahan bhavati prajeya pashibhir brahma varchasena, same thing. Okay, mahan kirtya. So this is the annam upasana. Okay. Okay. The idea is what? You have taken one thing. Okay, now if you are going to broaden it for an application. Experiencer, experienced. Okay, experiencer is you, the constant, the invariable. What is variable? Everything that you experience, isn't it? So everything that you experience, there is a cause-effect relationship. So the effect has come from the cause. The cause is present in the effect also. From clay, pot came. The clay is present in the pot. No? Can you say it's not there? Of course. Everything is only clay. So before the pot was made, the pot was in the clay as well. Correct? Are you making an existing pot or a non-existing pot? If this pot is non-existent in the clay, you can't manifest it. So it was there as a potential, you only manifested it. So the clay was in the pot and the pot is in the clay. Correct or not? And who is the one who is seeing the whole thing? You, the experiencer. So you are studying all these cause-effect relationships. And you are seeing a pattern. From one, the other thing has come, therefore the cause is superior to this. Annadaha it becomes. The cause becomes annadaha, the effect becomes annam. So you are looking at all cause-effect relationships. And really, in this, what is the understanding that's coming out? Which in all this detailing, you would have missed out. If the cause is there in the effect and effect is there in the cause, what does it mean? What does it really mean?
It is just a namarupa.
It's mithya. That cause-effect relationship exists, but it is mithya. There is a cause-effect relationship. No one can deny a cause-effect relationship. But the whole cause-effect relationship is not real, it is mithya, it's apparent. So now look at it. In your contemplation, you can start with annam or you can start with anything. Okay? There, for the sense of seriousness, because when you do doing an upasana, you cannot be casual about it. You have to take it seriously. Therefore, there will be certain rules, regulations, etc. That's why you have to cook your own food, eat your own, all that thing. All those rules, because you will take it seriously then. Yeah. Because people take upasana seriously and that's the right thing, as long as it doesn't become a conditioning. Now, there is a chance it can become a conditioning. Like I knew this old man. He had a habit. I mean, an upasana actually. This is actually an upasana and a very good upasana, especially connected with your ancestors. Every day he would feel the crow. Not going to the marketplace and put food all over and create a hassle for everybody else. No. On his kitchen window sill, he would keep the food and a couple of crows would come and eat it. Okay? Kaka upasana. This is connected with your ancestors. Okay? Yeah. If you want your Pitru Kripa, etc. to come to you, this is a good thing to do. Now, he had become old, his wife was no more. But he would cook and he would do this. Okay. Or even if somebody was helping him with the cooking, that rice he would cook nicely and then he'll offer it. Then his son insisted that he come to States for 3 months. I said, but Swamiji, I am going to States. Will I be allowed to do this there? Can I keep food on the windowsill? I said, I don't think that should be a big issue. If you leave a small katori of windowsill, I don't think there will be a big issue. After all, it's your windowsill. You're not keeping out in your neighbor's windowsill. And it is not that you're getting 100 crows come there and creating a disturbance for everyone else. But will the crows who are abroad come for it? Sir, I don't know. I have not talked to the crows there, so I don't know. I know the Indian crows will come, but whether an American crow will come or not, I don't know. And if I feed an American crow, will the upasana be valid? I said, I'm sure that part of it will be valid. If the crow comes and eats, it will be valid. I'm not sure if it comes and then my upasana will get a break. I said, you get somebody to do it for you here. Ask a friend to do it for you for 3 months. और क्या बोलेगा? No, take a break. Take a break, do it for 3 months. Can't let it be a conditioning. It's a good upasana to do. Okay? It's part of our environmental consciousness, etc. that's coming in. There's a big story behind the whole thing. But the idea is, the cause-effect relationship that you see, and to recognize that cause-effect relationship is mithya. To take the upasana seriously. But why are you doing it seriously? To understand the whole thing is a bluff. The whole thing is mithya. But you will not understand the whole thing is mithya unless you take the cause-effect relationship seriously and study the whole pattern that is there. So finally that's what is being done. That's why at every stage he says, cause is there in the effect is there in the cause. Cause is there in the effect is there in the cause. Why is he saying all this all the time? Why is he saying this all the time? To prove mithyatvam of the whole thing. Which is cause and which is effect? Can you really separate out cause and effect as two separate entities? Like mother and baby, you are separating it out. Can you separate it out like that, cause and effect? But mother and baby we can. Yeah, genetically you can. Physical form you can, but genetically can you? Go, I am disowning my daughter. That's only emotional. Can you do it genetically? You can't do that genetically. How do you do that genetically? So cause effect cannot really be separated out. Why? Because in a most simple way, the effect is nothing but the cause in a different form. So in the effect you can see the cause, and in the cause you can see the effect. Otherwise, how did you make the whole thing? How did you bring out the potential anyway, unless you saw it? The potter gets a lump of clay and he sees the pot there. Otherwise, he would not be able to make a pot. So the whole thing of one is established, the other established, all this is to show the mithyatvam of the whole thing. So when you understand mithyatvam, then what is satyam becomes clearer, isn't it? That's why if you notice, these type of upasanas are not involving an Ishvara there. Only cause effect is being seen. Yeah, totally, of course, in the totality Ishvara is there. Because the definition of meditation upasana definitely is Saguna Brahma Vishye Manasa Vyapara. Saguna Brahman meaning Brahman manifest with name and form. It's all this is name and form anyway. So Ishvara is the underlying thing. Yeah, but the thing that you are taken as real And nobody takes food as not real. That's one thing you can't take as not real. Because if you are feeling hungry, that's the only thing that works. So you have taken that, and then you are saying, converting that as all experiences and all the things that you experience, and then you are working on it and seeing mithyatvam of the whole thing. All that I see, experience, I function with, mithya, apparent, not real. This cause-effect relationship is there, of course it is there, but the whole thing is mithya. At the end of it, that's the understanding. Then what is satyam? Because mithya has to be based on satyam. Without satyam, there is no mithya. Mithya is satyam is what is. Mithya is appearance. So then what is that satyam? Hey, you already learned that. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. That's what it is. You already heard that. Yeah.
Swamiji, I have a question.
Shoot.
You said that the cause and effect is being shown as mithyatva,
Mm,
right?
mm.
So that's why cause and effect in cause. And then you said that that is why they haven't mentioned Ishvara in all of this.
Yeah.
I didn't quite.
Yeah, this is because this is at this level of cause effect. Then if you are going into the final cause, etc., Ishvara will come into the picture, not before that. Yeah. But it is still considered upasana because Ishvara is there in the background. Because without Ishvara, there is no upasana. So, the whole thing. Think about it, work on this, okay, this cause effect and mithyatvam. Take that and work on it. The next class probably we will be able to wrap up the whole Upanishad, will be fine. Because now it's similar things will be said. So you can go faster on it. Now that you understood what the base is behind, you can go on it. And after that, I have yet to decide whether to go into Taittiriiya Upanishad or straight away go into Mandukya Karika. It will be good if the people have a little bit more background and going through Taittiriiya also, I think. Okay. First I was thinking directly go into Mandukya Karika, but that can be a little bit mind blowing. So let me see, I have to take a call on it. Okay. Anyway, there is one more class before we. Okay. So good place to stop. Okay. Om Tat Sat.
Swamiji,
Yeah.